and I think he's going to be missed.
Well, let's move on to the map veto. It's a vital part of every matchup. Let's see where these teams are heading for the first match. Will we see a theme park? We've asked every vote so far, and Fnatic have taken it out. So we're going to end up over on Coastline.
Coastline is interesting because Fnatic have traditionally been quite good at it. TBD have traditionally been quite good at it. And last time these guys met on that map, it was 7-5 in favor of Fnatic. So, I mean, that was last season. Things have changed. Roster for TBD has changed. Fnatic's roster has changed. But either way, the history of these teams on this map has been close.
Yeah, and I haven't got a whole lot of super recent form on either of these teams. I do have TBD beating out Sinister on Coastline not long ago. I'm not quite sure if that was before. That would have been in the first split, wouldn't it? So maybe not the fairest indication as to how strong TBD are currently on this map, but hey, things are changing all the time, rosters included, and I definitely think it's going to be an even contest.
Yeah, for sure. And you can always argue the point TBD might have extra footage on Fnatic thanks to SI and the sheer amount of games they played because of how deep they made it into that tournament. But at the end of the day, Virtue isn't on that roster. Things might have dramatically changed. We don't know to the extent that Fnatic have changed things now. I think that's the real wild card or kicker, probably shouldn't use wild card, coming into this game. If Fnatic can adapt to having aces in and losing Virtue, I think they're going to end up coming out on top.
Yeah, and I wonder how much thought or preparation that TBD have put into that roster change, because we've known for a little bit now that Aces has been joining or is going to be joining the roster for the remainder of this season. So I wonder if TBD has tried to do some prep, but I guess what would that prep even look like? Because it's been so long since Aces has actually played in this roster, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has, and you can sometimes be like really hard pressed to predict how those roles will work out. So I think if anything, what TBD would be doing is just working on reinforcing what's been working really well for them and just perfecting their own game or their own play style. And then maybe just soft counter-strating Fnatic, understanding a couple of different patterns, but not really going deep into the hard strats, because sometimes that will be your downfall.
Well, we both think that this matchup could be pretty close. Let's see what the viewers at home think. Bring up the poll and have a look.
Oh, jeez.
Look, to be honest, probably not unexpected when you see the Fnatic name up against the TBD name. But I'm going to stand by my confidence in this being a close matchup and say that this is not really indicative of what the score is going to look like.
Yeah, TBD have had some good form. They've overcome some good opponents. So there's no reason why they wouldn't be able to take it to Fnatic, like at least bring some close matches. I have no doubt how people have so much faith in Fnatic, especially after how they played at SI. I mean, let's bring it back to that. They did have a fantastic performance at SI at a massive global event. So that's got to bring back some good form, whether that's at an individual level or a team level for them.
Yeah, and it's not even, I don't think it's even the form that they've brought back from that. It's all the knowledge that they would have learned. The boot camping, the exposure to the international meta, I guess the synergy that would have been generated from a successful event, all of that should carry over now onto the online portion of Pro League. But let's get the talking done and dusted. It's time to finally see what these teams are going to bring to the table. It's Fnatic versus TBD on Coastline. Aces, he's finally back on the team. Chat, you don't have to keep asking where is Aces, because he is in, he's ready to go. And Fnatic, they will be attacking first.
And this is not EU Aces, for those that are asking that as well. Aces does play for Rogue. He also plays for Fnatic. So
well, he doesn't also. It's two different people, but yeah.
Yeah, two different people. I
think one has one extra E or one extra Z. I'm not too sure, to be honest.
Extra E.
There you go.
Oh. Buckband coming out from TBD. A pretty standard show here on Coastline, taking away that vertical play. Commonly, a really important part of Coastline is being able to use that verticality to pressure defenses, especially on sites like that kitchen bomb site. It's a really key part to clearing it out. So Buck has become a real comfort band on this map.
Dockerby will follow that one up. Bit of an interesting ban, especially coming from Fnatic. We have seen in the past Fnatic using some extravagant combinations, such as, I believe it was Finker and Dockerby, all the way back, actually in the 6th Invitational Quals, if I'm not mistaken. So maybe believing that TBD could bring that to the table, they're just going to completely get rid of it. Valkyrie as well to follow up. So a lot of info gathering off the board so far, and we could well see even more on this final ban.
Definitely going to think that that Dokkaebi ban is a bit of a target ban. We saw TBD using it quite effectively last week. I believe it was Jack Daddy that was playing the Dokkaebi. So Fnatic just not wanting to deal with that, not giving that comfort pick to TBD, allowing them to have to adapt to how Fnatic are going to play. It is Fnatic starting on the attack though, so we won't see how that really plays out until the second half. And it means that TBD will have the comfort of defense. Some teams really prefer the comfort starting on defense, whereas other teams prefer the challenge of attacking.
Hookah Billiards will be the first site. TBD teasing out a Clash pick. We haven't seen Clash played tonight. And we're not going to see Clash played yet tonight, as he 6 picks onto potentially a Maestro. Either way, though, I'm expecting that Fnatic are going to anticipate that bait. Clash doesn't see a whole lot of play. Particularly, I feel like on a map like this, where there's a lot of vertical pressure that can be made and not really many safe places to sit. So, look, maybe not the most effective bait, but hey, mind games early, good to see.
Yeah, you're right, especially for this bomb site. Clash would have been a bit tricky to play. Maybe around Hookah would have been the best spot to do that. Mangoes did play a bit of Clash last week to some pretty good effect on Villa, I believe it was. But either way, not sticking it out, playing the Intel game there. Fnatic not changing their lineup, and interestingly, we see Aces on Hibana. That is his old role when he was in the core 5 of that team. So maybe just going back to some old comforts here of Fnatic.
Aces going back to his roots.
5 seconds remaining.
It is still weird seeing his name there. Just getting so used to seeing the Virtue on the board, but as he mentioned, he's over at G2, and they had their first play day today, or earlier today. G2 actually did lose, I believe, 7-5. So unfortunate for them. And if the CGG operator picks were correct, I believe he was playing something like a Thermite and someone else combo, like a support combo. So a little bit strange to see Virtue on that role, but I guess, as everyone keeps saying, you can't have 5 Jaeger mains on the team.
That's right. And no, I think he was playing a lot of Buck on the attack, which is also not really like a role that I've seen Virtue play a lot of. But it was working out for them. It was a close game. Could have gone either way. So good stuff from them. His old team here battling against an upcoming team in TBD. I mean, TBD have been around for a while at the top end, but really hanging around 4th kind of position, not really making a run for top 2 for quite a long time, since they were a long time ago known as Darksided. But finally a challenge here, and see whether Fnatic can deal with that or whether TBD will get the better of them as well.
Is Darksided bring back some flashbacks for you, Roven? Being
I
the
did used to
ex-coach?
coach that team. Yeah, it feels weird thinking about that, but long time ago. In fact, Virtue was on that roster before he went to Fnatic.
Oh,
Full circle there.
it's all interconnected. ANZ, just one big family. APAC in general. Just got a bit of a family vibe to it. It's nice to see.
Good time management coming out of Fnatic attack here, pushing through Aquarium, putting pressure straight onto Billiards, which means half the round for TBD to delay that, use the utility to deny. Looks like they've got vertical control as well, so this is already a really good start to this map for Fnatic.
Feels like this round's been going on for quite some time. Fnatic still with over a minute to try and clear out some of these players. TBD, though, they've been playing quite passive yet to drop a man, which is nice way to start the round. Strong positions as well. Pretty default at the moment, but again, it's working. Fnatic taking their time to drone it out. Ace is one of those players doing so. Hopefully giving some calls, though. The drone doesn't get destroyed. Still there next to the billiard table. Actually, no, it got mute jam. There's actually a mute jammer right behind that billiards table. Either way, though, that's going to delay that as Fnatic try to find some picks from below. Magnet with those grenades could be absolutely massive, and there we go. That's Joker off the board, and there's 30 seconds left to go for the execute.
A great grenade there from Magnet down below. Gives them a lot of good positioning, because that is the one that's hard to flush out. Mentalist follows it up with another coming into the final 30 seconds here. TBD are fighting back, though, not giving it a free run there. And another one to make it a 3 versus 3. Looking good for TBD now, guys.
Oh, no way! Ace has managed just a drop shot. Getting off the diffuser. He doesn't stick the plant, but he gets the kill, giving his team a chance in this round. But the time is now going down. It's depleting quite quickly, and Lusty needs to try and cover this plant that's coming out. Ippy style goes to the wide swing, manages to drop the diffuser. Now he just needs to stay alive, but he doesn't. Fnatic manages to finesse that round. Lusty with a double kill to finish things off. And just when it looked a little bit dire, Ace is coming up massive, and then Lusty as well. This is just textbook Fnatic at the moment.
Look, the unsung hero of that round is old mate that ran out on hookah. I didn't see that, but that is who distracted Lusty enough for Ipistyle to get the pick onto the diffuser carrier. So super well played from TBD to coordinate that. You know, good teamwork. It's got them the first round. Wait, Fnatic won that round. I'm so confused. What just happened?
Okay, well,
I'm
let's
lost
do
in
a
the
quick
sauce here,
recap.
guys.
So what happened is Ipistyle did manage to swing wide and get that pick after Aces was able to stop the first player from swinging wide. But then Lusty, not only did he get one kill on the run out, but he then also got the kill on Ipistyles after he swung wide. So look, it was very complicated. I don't know how I managed to keep up with it.
I think I just
hectic.
got too excited. Lost in the sauce, you know, home cast. I don't know where I am.
It's a weird feeling. Honestly, after being in the studio for quite a while, going back to that home style cast, it's so different. I don't think people at home would really appreciate just how different it is casting from home. It's just so different.
It is, but we press on, and I'll stay not lost in the sauce from now on.
Wake up,
TBD are going to repeat. They're going to repeat this bomb site, which I think is great because they played it pretty well. And one thing I was going to say earlier is uncharacteristically like TBD, they played it quite passive. So they're pretty well known for running around quite aggressively. A lot of runouts, Ipistyle in particular, getting lots of runout kills last week on Consulate against Wildcard. And that wasn't really the case in that round. They actually played very patiently, just shot some drones, delayed the time, and it worked out pretty effectively for them. So I like the call to repeat. It's just a matter of whether Fnatic read into that and just execute with a bit more precision. That might be what is the undoing for TBD.
We're going to see Aces once again on the Havana doing a lot of drone work and definitely feeling quite familiar to the OG Fnatic where, again, he did play quite a heavy support. I wonder what it must feel like to be him after being benched for quite some time, coming back, playing an official. It must feel pretty weird because despite playing the game and probably playing in recent scrims, as Bruce actually mentioned after his match tonight, the difference between scrims and officials, it's pretty much black or white. They're so different. A lot more pressure, a lot more on the line. And hopefully Aces is able to put that to the back of his mind and just play his game.
Yeah, and I mean, scrims are about working on things and practicing things, whereas official is where you make it happen. So that already creates like a big differentiation between their feelings. So a lot of the onus then for creating some kind of stability or consistency is more about like your routine, I guess, how you go into a scrim and how you go into an official. That can kind of level your mindset a bit. So it just depends. But so far, Fnatic seem a bit slower on this attack. They were already in Aquarium at this stage. They're close enough already, but just taking their time a little bit more.
Starting to get close to a minute remaining in this round. And once again, not a single pick on the board. So brace yourselves. It's probably going to be quite a crazy last part of the round as players continue to be flushed out. But once again, TBD still in pretty dominant positions like they were in the previous round, in nice positions to deny these pushes and try and deny the plant.
Great start again. Magnet with the frag grenade kill. That's exactly how the last round started off with the kill counts. Saw a good position from Tex at 90. Didn't really work out for him last time. He's just looking for that flank, holding a nice passive drone at the bottom of white stairs, just waiting and waiting for that. Tex not really having much of an impact so far. Of course, we're only 1.5 rounds in. Spotting that player down at the drink spot.
No.
Oh, no!
Aces! Oh no, he falls to his death, and that means it's now effectively a 4-on-4. Magnet could go for the res, but time's depleting, and most importantly, he had the diffuser. So now Fnatic need to reposition and go for that. Mentos looks like he will do so. Maybe go for the res in the process, but they only have 15 seconds left on the board. TBD may well know that they don't have a lot to work with here. Joker has been down. The refrag not quite coming out as the aggression is coming now from Fnatic. Magnet makes his way in towards drinks. He gets one, almost gets the second. He does actually in the end, and the frags, they're just coming out. The aggression from Fnatic is just overwhelming in the end. So much going on. I can't keep track of what's going on. TBD, they can't keep track of what's going on, but somehow they manage to win the round.
Yeah, just the signal for that diffuser was down in courtyard just meant Fnatic went into go mode and they just hit all their shots. And the only person that got downed or fragged out, I should say, was Magnet via Tex. That was a team kill. So it was essentially a flawless round for Fnatic there, even after the almost botched effort from Aces falling from roof to courtyard. So rebound from them, and they're looking pretty good so far. They've had 2 rounds in a row. TBD put up a good fight in that first round, but that last one, they just got really outplayed.
I wonder if Ace's heart just dropped when he slipped off the edge of the balcony there. I didn't expect it to happen. I thought he was pretty safe where he was, and then he dropped, and I was like, yeah, you're not surviving that one.
Honestly, I feel like it's just you have to laugh at that situation, even in the official. Like, what are you gonna do?
I mean, fortunately, it didn't really cost them the round. Their aggression late round was just phenomenal. Definitely didn't look great for them, but they had like, what was it in there? About 10, 15 seconds, and they just exploded onto site. TBD were just completely overwhelmed. And look, if Fnatic can keep this up for the rest of the map, particularly on such an aggressive map like Coastline, TBD could find it hard to crawl back.
Yeah, and one thing I really like is just the patience that we saw from Tex holding 90, which is essentially holding that white stairs flank. And he's not hard holding it or anything. He's holding it with a nice passive drone that's kind of backed away from the stairs. So it's pretty unlikely the roamer will see that. And I like the adaptation because TBD will really often flank. Like, it's something they're well known for. They'll run around, they'll do late flanks. Like I was saying before, they play quite aggressively. So he's ready for that. They've dedicated his role to watch that. And TBD haven't been able to execute anything like that yet. It is only 2 rounds. But so far, I just think that the read from Fnatic is really good.
Definitely a weird stage in all these rounds where Fnatic are just taking their time and not really showing as much early round aggression compared to the likes of Sinister earlier tonight, where they were really aiming to get quick control inside of the map. Fnatic instead just probing around a little bit, trying to find maybe an early pick. We have seen Magnet actually get 2 grenade picks in the last 2 rounds, 1 in each, as that first pick, setting up the rest of the round quite nicely. And maybe they could get another cutie, though. Tries to find the head of that player repelled to his left. Doesn't quite hit the shot, though. That's Mentalist. Just playing quite patiently. And maybe that's the sort of play style that Fnatic are going for. Just nice, slow, and steady so far.
Yeah, I'm intentionally trying to bait the jump out there by throwing that drone. Looked like he was off it already. Either way, it's a bit of a time delay because while we've been looking at this and talking about this, half the round is essentially ticked away. Vertical control is starting to be obtained by Fnatic here. They've flushed out this penthouse position, taking the time to drone it out and just be very careful. Watching that reflank again on white stairs. I like it by Fnatic, and if they can just continue to shut this down, I think TBD are going to find it a bit difficult to get into the game.
This control above now becoming more and more prominent as Magnet continues to swing that hammer and open up not only the floor but the walls around for quick rotates. Jack Daddy tries to hit the C4 from below, but it misses his target. And once again, Fnatic feels like they have so much time on their side. Still a minute to go. All 10 members alive on this server. Right about now is when Magnet will find a pick with the grenade, but we're still ready and waiting for that to happen. He could find a player, though, behind the reception desk at the front there. Maybe not aware that there is someone there. He has the angle above, but he doesn't peek it. That could have netted him the kill and given Fnatic the advantage. But it just wasn't meant to be.
No, actually, I think that player might have been on like the side
on the other side of the wall? Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, so probably wouldn't have seen it anyway, but Ipistyle is lurking around there. So this is going to have to be really cautious from Fnatic. Mentalist is at the lobby door, so can cut that off. The smoke under a lot of pressure there, and he's actually now fragged up by Magnet. Great positioning for Fnatic to close this round.
They're just teaming up on all of these TBD players at the moment, giving them no room to breathe. It's Cutie and Mango's now left to try and clutch it up. They know where one of those players is. It's Cutie. He's now taken off the server. Now it's Mango's left to try and deny the plant. He can't even do that, unfortunately for him. And Fnatic will take the round flawlessly. And I think they have to be commended on just how strong they are in hunting down these players. Like Ipistyle, for example, at the end there, he had no chance. He had a player coming through the main door, a player down white, and even a player of his skill. Even if he gets one pick, for example, which he didn't manage to do, he was going to be deleted straight away anyway.
Yeah, really good thoroughness from Fnatic. And it's like I was saying, I like that they seem to have really dedicated to watching their tail. I mean, most teams are going to watch their flank anyway, but TBD in particular are really commonly, man, they run out, they flank late. That's kind of their style, and Fnatic are carrying that perfectly. And without them getting that opening in like mid-round at least, or even an early round frag fest from Ipistyle, which happens sometimes, they're just not able to get into this. And it's essentially been 2 flawless rounds in a row, remembering that the previous round wasn't a flawless just because of a team kill.
The strength of these attacks, despite playing out pretty differently to how the Sinister v Kanga match did. It shows, I think, that
Attackers have located
defense
the bomb.
doesn't always have to be as defender-sided as many people portray it to be. If you have the systems in place and the confidence on that attack, hunting down roamers is not impossible, and Fnatic are really showing that at the moment. Yes, Coastline, you could argue, is pretty attacker-sided. I'm not exactly sure on the stats, but I feel like it's pretty even, if not attacker-sided. But their playstyle, it's been pretty flawless so far. TBD just being absolutely choked out so far, and like Kanga earlier tonight, they just don't have an answer yet.
Objective is to defuse a bomb.
Yeah, and what seems to be the worrying sign is as the map is going on, or this half is even going on, Fnatic just seem to be getting a bit stronger and stronger. First round from TBD wasn't too bad. Second round was okay, but mostly Fnatic, as I said, it was pretty much flawless. And then that round really was flawless. TBD just didn't look like they had a chance in that last round. So it's really trending towards Fnatic in this first half. And TBD just probably need to do something, if not for getting around, but just for some confidence.
And I think now's the time to really highlight just how strong Fnatic are. If you missed the pre-show, these teams are neck and neck on points at the moment. Fnatic do have a couple extra matches to go. They're a couple of matches behind TBD at the moment, but they are even on points. Fnatic are first, TBD is second. Looking at the scorecard so far, you probably wouldn't think that's the case. And I think that, again, just is really exaggerating how strong Fnatic are in their current form, even with the recent roster change.
Yeah, but again, this is TBD really hard countering, being hard countered by Fnatic here. Ibisal just on a drone that entire time. I mean, he hit some nice shots just then on to Tex, but he was getting pinched from Office. Cutie did come to assist though. So good team play from Cutie to help out there. Ibisal has been tagged quite low, but maybe this is something that we just haven't seen much in ANZ is teams like legit hard countering TBD's playstyle. And Aces is going to try and pinch into this Office, and this could be the make or break of the round.
Very risky for Aces. A very nice flash though. Could net him a kill. Actually, it nets Magnet a kill. Ippy Styles though does hit a refrag there onto Aces, but will find himself pinched in this location. Tex, he knows he's there. I'm assuming Magnet probably does as well when he got that earlier kill. And there we go. The pre-fire comes out. A fantastic shot there from Tex. We'll bring it to a 3-on-3. And Raven, once again, Fnatic are just looking so strong at this stage of the round.
Attackers have recovered their
Yeah, clearing out these roamers, ensuring that they're not going to be surprised, and giving themselves time to execute. Big ingredients to a successful attack, and that's exactly what we've seen. I do have a bit of a challenge ahead of them. I mean, there's still these anchor operators to worry about. There's a Maestro there with that older, always a threat to be one of the last operators alive. And there's a smoke as well for Denial. So it's still a bit ahead of them, but it's looking pretty good.
40 seconds left to go in the round. Some intel gathering still on the board there for Mangoes and his team, but the explosivity is coming out from Fnatic. Mental centers and gets one. Can they get more? Yes, they do. Mentals gets a second. Jack Dad, though, gets Tex, and now they need to try and pinch out this remaining player. There we go. Mentalist going absolutely massive there in round number 4, and this late round is just looking so good at the moment. And I definitely think that this is a reflection of them going to 6 Invitational, because we see these international teams bring this aggression, and it's something that Fnatic back in the OG days really lacked. But now it's explosive, and TBD, I feel so sorry for them. They're just getting stomped on pretty much. I don't know what they need to try and do to come back from this, because it's looking pretty grim, and we could well see a 6-0 half.
Yeah, and I think the way that Fnatic closed that round out is really a product of what is happening early round, in that they're shutting down the TBD aggression, which is kind of their signature. And I think that then is making TBD think, okay, guys, we just lost early picks. This is kind of weird for us. Like, let's just chill on site now. And because they ended up playing so passively there, like, they're really stuck to those positions in that final 45 seconds. Fnatic just said, okay, they're passive, guys. Let's just go deep. And so they did. And that's really just hard countering exactly what TBD are doing with their playstyle. And TBD just aren't really adapting to that. I think that's the biggest thing here. They're not readapting to what Fnatic's doing. They've lost 4 rounds in a row now. It's starting to look pretty grim for TBD.
Yeah, and I'm actually really happy he brought up the point of them not readapting, because it's something that I was thinking of a little bit, and it makes me think of that match. I don't know if you remember it, but it was against Pittsburgh Knights when they were known as Homeless. They got stomped on border in the first split, and the main reason for that, we feel, or at least I felt, was that there was a real lack of adaptation from TBD throughout the course of that map. And here on Coastline, it's feeling pretty similar. I mean, their op picks, their setup, all feeling pretty same. And Fnatic, it's worked for them once, this aggressive playstyle. And they're able to replicate that and keep doing it again because it's been successful. When you're losing, though, continuing to do the same strategy is probably going to be a bit of a pitfall.
Yeah, and I think, again, I want to come back to Aces. People often, I mean, he plays a support role. Yeah, chuck him in like the support category. But he's a pretty good player. We've seen time and time again in clutch situations, whether it's attack or defense, he can frag out. And he's comfortable playing at the pace that the rest of this team wants to play. We can see that already. So I think it's fair to say that so far, this roster change doesn't look like it's been too much of an issue for Fnatic to grind in. And I'm kind of curious if they stick with this, whether over time, this will be pretty much where they were already at.
I guess that does raise a pretty big question for Fnatic. Are they going to continue with Aces, or is there maybe something behind the scenes that they're trying to work towards, maybe another addition to the team? Again, we just don't know, but I'm sure if Aces can keep putting in performances like this and helping to support his team, hey, he may well find himself in the core in the long term.
Absolutely. And Fnatic, again, taking their time, being nice and thorough. We're seeing TBD play pretty passively. It looks like there's 3, maybe 4 on site. They didn't quite see the final outline. And as long as Fnatic are just careful of that aggressive position, or the aggressive play that TBD will try to do around now, seeing as we're getting to mid-round, can't see them not winning the round, to be honest.
It's the magnet nade phase of the round. Doesn't hit that one. Expect him to follow it up with another, as he still has one in his pocket. Meanwhile, the flank watch is being set up by Lusty using those air jabs. We saw those be quite critical in a previous round win on this site. Hopefully he can follow that up here once again. And it's feeling very same, isn't it, Raven? A minute to go, waiting for this execute to come out.
Yeah, it's quite the anchor. Again, TBD just really staying on site. So it's either this, they try the early aggressive play, it got shut down, then they anchor, or it's hard anchor. And neither of them has really worked out for them. Lusty opening the scorecard onto Jack Dad was one of the players in Hookah. There's still Cutie hard left of that doorway. But they have a lot of control now of Aquarium Billiards. This could potentially be a safe plant given the positioning.
I mean, looking at TBD, they're all just stuck in the corners, and now they're forced to try and find frags that are going to be so hard. Lusty gets his second, and they're still trapped over on this side of the map. Ippy Styles actually being down as well, so Mangoes and Joker are basically left in a 2-on-5. The smokes are delaying this plant a little bit, but it's really only delaying the inevitable. Eventually, Fnatic will be able to get in and execute this plant. Flashes come out from behind to try and distract, and there we go. Magnet will now re-attempt it. 15 seconds left on the board. The coverage is there from Fnatic. The denial, not so much for TBD. Mangoes tries to go below, but it's a little too late. He does get a kill onto Mentalist, but that diffuser is critically still down. Ippy Style, he's still down as well. Joker, though, he gets one. So it's now effectively a 2-on-3. But Fnatic, they've retreated all the way over towards Aquarium, and the call hasn't even gone out, seemingly, that there's a player on the balcony. They're going to go for the res either way. Ippy Style surely doesn't survive, but he does. Lusty unable to find that pick. 20 seconds now left on the fuse. They need to try and find this player outside, and they're going to go for it. Magnet, though, he gets 2. Lusty gets the final, and Fnatic will take the 5th round. And again, a bit like a broken record, Fnatic leaving it to the last second, but hey, it's working out. The aggression's been pretty good.
Yeah, and they're just reading into TBD again perfectly. It's beautifully countered. They saw they were all anchoring. They took that thorough time early with the drones to make sure they set up the flank drones perfectly, surrounded them, and then as soon as they got that opening pick, it meant TBD tried to reposition to make something happen. But because Fnatic were already set up, they were just playing into their hand. And the post-plant positioning there also just made it near impossible for TBD's retake to be successful. Again, really well played from Fnatic. TBD just really struggling to adapt to this. We might be seeing another flawless half here, guys. And I dare say it, this could be the second 7-0 of the season.
Which is pretty funny because we haven't actually had a flawless win up until tonight where Sinister defeated Kanga. So that would definitely be quite interesting. But I want to go back to that last round for a little bit because what caught my eye was when we had that overhead of roughly, it would have been about 45 seconds left in the round, I think. We saw every single member of TBD crouching in a corner that I saw. To me, that doesn't really show a nice positive play style. And even the positions that they did have had no impact on the plant. The only denial that they did have was the smokes. And there's only a limited supply. QD or whoever was playing smoke that round can only use so many canisters. And once those run out, Fnatic were just able to overwhelm the site. They had Lusty, the one player away from the main attack, just completely tear them apart. And from there, it was over.
Yeah, and I mean, they had one smoke canister remaining when plant was going down. and it just didn't come out in time, so plant was successful. Also, Fnatic, again, just shows the quality of their team. They actually swapped who had diffuser for plant. Some people might take that for granted. Some teams forget to do that. So really well played from them. And to sum it up, I would just say that TBD is basically just letting Fnatic happen to them. And they're not doing anything to bring it back to their terms.
They are defending Blue and Sunrise Bar the first time we've seen them attempt it. So far in this map, trying to mix it up, try and hopefully get themselves around. Quite a strong upstairs presence from them, a very similar setup to what we see when defending Hookah and Billiards. It was a little bit late there with Jack Daddy opening those rotates, but nonetheless they have been created. And it looks like Fnatic will try and take that head on, try and clear them out, and then gain that control from above.
Yep, taking the map control, it's easy, which is always a good start. So taking Penthouse, taking Theatre. Now they're going to try and clear this horizontal roam on the top floor here, which is in Hookah and Billiards. Looks like they do definitely want that vertical control, which Magnet has been playing quite effectively on the sledge. Mozzie making a bit of a challenge there to drone it out, but either way, TBD sitting strong. Half the round has ticked away, and oh my lord, what a shot from Ippy Style. That is lusty off the board. Maybe this is going to be a different round for TBD.
Ippy Style going 4 and 5 so far in this match. Not a bad result considering the rest of his team is struggling to get kills. This nade though from Magnet could be big. Will it net the kill? I don't think it will. I think it may have been stopped by an ADS above there, but he could get shot in the back of the head if he Styles running around like crazy, trying to find somewhere safe to sit, and Fnatic are just tearing them apart. Tex gets the kill eventually. Jack Dad with a refrag there. On to Magnet. Mangoes as well being dropped, so it's a 3-on-3. Will that kill be effective there from Tex? It will. The AR-33, a gun that we don't often see being used to full effect. Now it's a 2-on-2. Tex doesn't quite see that player through the floor. I don't think. Eventually sees him on a drone, I believe, and that's the triple for him. Joker now left in a 1-on-2.
Yes, and Aces and Tex both playing pretty strong for their team. They've still got quite a lot of time to figure this out and deal with it. Looks like they're going to be pushing in towards Blue Bar. A drone will spot out that final position. Means it's going to be pretty tough for Joker here. He is on the mute. He doesn't have a C4, so denial, not much of an option. He's going to have to shoot these two players in order to close the round.
The SMG 11 at that range will be tricky to control, and it looks like FNC are going to head the attack together from that side of the map. And there we go. It's a flawless half for Fnatic Raven. Not much can be said, really. Fnatic are just looking too strong.
Fnatic looking very good. Great shot from Tex there to close out that round. They are up 6-0. They have secured at minimum 1 point, but I don't see why they won't be able to continue this to a win to get 3 for the map. TBD just really struggling. They put up a good fight on the roam, but Fnatic just systematically refrag, got it down to a 2 versus 2, and the team player just closed it out.
As we head into TBD's first attack of the map, they are at quite the deficit. And as you mentioned, we could well see a flawless map. It'll be only the second in ANZ so far, the first being earlier tonight when Sinister managed to defeat Kanga 7-0 on Clubhouse. Was that a Knock 6 pick that I saw there? Yes, it was. So we're going to see Mangoes bringing the Knock, the Nuke. I don't know. How do you like to say it? Are you a Nuke or are you a Knock fan? Nook. Rook, but Nook. All right, we'll go with that.
Yeah, because
we'll keep it.
Danish operator and the O with the line is like an oo sound, so it's Nook. But
Nuke.
Yeah, a lot of people say it differently. Either way, I'm really curious how they're going to use this because Mangoes was on the Lion, and I was thinking, oh, that might be helpful seeing as they have Magnet on the roam potentially, help them with the roam clear. But actually, they've gone for maybe a surprise factor on Mangoes. He does have Diffuser as well. I don't know whether he's just going to drop that, but yeah, it's going to be interesting what they actually do with this Nook.
Attacker's objective is to defuse a bomb.
Definitely will be interesting. Could potentially even see a rush here from TBD as Magnet goes for one of the dirtiest runouts I've seen in Pro League for a long time, just yeeting it straight out of the blue Billiards window. Doesn't net him a kill though. There were actually a couple of members that spawned there, and did he damage Jack Daddy then?
Yep, he did.
Wowee, that would not have been a great way to start the round for TBD if he died. But
yeah,
he
it would have
survives.
been quite the tilter.
Onwards and upwards.
Yeah, looks like they are going to try and take some top floor control, which is where Lusty is currently playing, and Tex as well playing around the Vars position, so can back each other up. Not as much utility at all dedicated to this as we saw TBD. Just a bit of wire, a couple of reinforcements is all they've decided they need to hold this. And the longer they delay, I think the more that will 100% work in their favor. TBD generally classed as an aggressive team, so if they aren't able to get these entries, I think they're going to really struggle in the mid to late round.
Mango still with that diffuser in hand as Hippie Style gets the entry on towards Lusty. So that's Mozzie now off the board. Magnet as well will be taken out, and TBD are on the verge of winning the very first round in this matchup. It'd be absolutely massive for them if they can get this round. Start mounting that comeback. No, that's a bit dramatic. It's probably not going to mount the comeback, but hey, if you can at least get one round to be better than nothing. Oh, that pick there from Mangoes is unsuccessful, unfortunately for him. So it is effectively a 3-on-3. Fnatic able to even things out for the meantime.
Yes, but not confirming that kill means that there will be a chance to revive. A nice little angle being held here. Tex contesting it, and it being pushed quite aggressively actually by Cutie. Trying to bait him away from the position, but doesn't win the gunfight ultimately. Nicely played by him. Mangoes is still down. Finally will get picked up thanks to Jacktad winning that gunfight. So 3 versus 2 coming into this final minute here.
Mentalist and Ace is still on the board for Fnatic. A scary prospect for TBD. Both players so good in these late round scenarios. 50 seconds left on the board, and Aces has been droned out. Ippy Styles potentially getting verticality above, but no, he's going to jump out the window as Jacktad may fulfill that role. Looks like Aces is being shot at from the couch's position from above, but he will survive for now. Mentalist probing over towards Courtyard, trying to position himself to deny the entry in towards the blue bar. We last saw Ippy Styles it was outside that window, so he will have to be mindful. More drones coming out here for TBD as they try and exactly locate where these defenders are relocating. We're going to see Aces use the last of his smoke grenades. Either team just not trying to give a pick away, and it's going to come down to who really can hold strong in these final seconds. Mentalist gets his double O. That's a great start to the round, or the late round rather, as he gets his triple. No 1-on-1 though. Can he clutch this one up for Fnatic? He brings the pistol out. Can he win this gunfight? Can he play time? He gets the kill just in time. Either way, that's Mangoes taken off the board. And Fnatic will win the round. Will win the map rather. 7-0. Absolutely nuts. 2 flawless games tonight, Raven. Did not expect that.
No, I expect that to be much closer, but you know what? That was actually tough and so strong from Fnatic in the end. I'm going to really call out the Nook play there. Mangoes had Diffuser for most of that round, actually, and I don't believe the Nook really had any effect at all. And even if it was the intention was to plant as Nook, actually deactivates her ability as far as I know. So I'm not really